So just what is stopping you from jumping onto ChatGPT and building your own training and or nutrition plan? Absolutely nothing. And to be honest with you, I think they can work quite well. You may have to review it a little bit and tweak a few little things and change your prompts, but eventually you're going to get to a point where you have something that is going to produce results. But this is nothing new. You have always been able to jump on the internet and research about training and nutrition and find the information out there that you can use to get a result. The issue isn't the training and nutrition. That is simple. The problem is humans are complex. And when it comes to changing behaviors, building new habits, that's where the real art of coaching comes in. Or if you are someone without a coach or a mentor, not willing to do the research, it's your own ability to be self-aware and understanding what constraints or what antecedents come before these behaviors or habits that are self-destructive or take away from your progress and the results that you see. Over the past 9 years, I've worked with hundreds of different clients on their training and nutrition and aiming to build new habits so they can get a result. And it doesn't matter how good the training plan was or how good the nutrition plan was. At the end of the day, it just wasn't applicable to them actually seeing better results if they weren't ready to do it or they didn't know how to actually change behaviors, build new habits so they could actually keep up the training and keep up the nutrition. Another thing that comes into this is the person's ability or level of competence with certain skills. If someone isn't confident that they know how to exercise properly or they know how to cook properly and meal prep, they are not going to be able to complete the meal plan that you've given them as a coach or the training plan as a coach. Now, why I bring this up today is that I have banged my head against a wall so many times when it came to my own training and nutrition. Over the past few years, I've become very successful at being consistent with my training, but my nutrition can still be challenging at times. And it is because it is multifactorial. It's not a matter of just flicking a switch, turning into a robot and going, here's what I'm gonna eat. So at the end of the day, I don't want you to feel alienated as a bloke if you are someone who struggles to control their food intake or what they eat, as a normal human would say, because you've got so many different things that are going to be affecting this in your life. If you're stressed from work, if you're emotional, you've gone through a breakup, you've just had something that's caused you a bit of heartache or your head not to be in the right place, this is going to make it that much harder. However, it is a double-edged sword because sometimes this can also be the thing to drive you to make these changes. What I want you to think about when we talk about making behavioral changes and building new habits is the fact that it is not just the matter of looking up on the internet and going, here's the training plan I need because this jacked guy uses it, or here's the nutrition plan I need because that's what that guy eats in a day. There is a certain amount of individualization that it needs to suit who you are, what your goals are, and your lifestyle and your current abilities and skill set. But at the same time, you need to take into account, or a mentor or coach needs to take into account, what are the actual constraints affecting your ability to stick to said training plan or nutrition plan. You could, like I said, have a distorted relationship with food or your body. You could be someone who reactively eats or overeats a lot of the time when it comes to stress. You could eat your emotions away. For myself in the past, when I had my main issues with overeating, I can track this back to childhood. There was times throughout my childhood where I was by myself at night and I felt like a lack of security there, almost like a feeling of abandonment. So security for me was snuggling up, putting the blanket on, watching TV, watching movies and eating some ice cream. I was lucky because I was an active kid, so I never gained a whole lot of weight. But this amplified when I started to get into bodybuilding and powerlifting. I started to get more stress and responsibilities in my life, and it became an escape. Just like alcohol, just like drugs, just like smoking did at points in my life. And again, to get over these things, I really had to analyze why I did it, or I had to have a pull strong enough, like launching into a career of personal training where it's probably not a good idea to keep smoking and doing drugs all the time, to actually pull me out of it. One thing that I've learned though in recent years is just that ability or how important it is to have that ability to be self-aware and actually look at the actions that you're taking, the behaviors that just keep going and going. And if you don't actually gain a sense of perspective of that or change your perspective of it and start to make little changes and not just blame yourself for overeating or going out and getting on the drink, smashing a bag, whatever it may be, whatever your cruxes are. If you're sitting there, you're gaming, watching porn, whatever it is that you do as a man to escape your world, you need to start to think about why you're doing it. Why do you have that coping mechanism there? Because again, at the end of the day, you can look up the most evidence-based training or nutrition plan. You can jump onto ChatGPT and try get it to solve your problems for you and give you this results-driven program. However, if you've never stuck to something before and you always relapse, you always yo-yo diet, you are really consistent for a week or two in the gym and then you fall off the bandwagon, you need to start to think about why it's happening. Otherwise, this year, 2025, is going to escape you again. You're going to be at the end of the year setting New Year's resolutions once again. And again, guys, I've been in this position. I've had this with other parts or realms of my life, aspects of my life where I've told myself I'm going to change, I'm going to do the thing, and I go all in and then I fall off the bandwagon again. And I get how frustrating it is and how much it knocks your self-confidence. So one of the biggest things that I'll leave you with again today to reconsider and drive the message home is think about what habits are holding you back when it comes to your training and your nutrition and your ability to adhere to those two things to actually get the result that you want to see. Think about why you have coping mechanisms. What are they covering up? What are you escaping from? Is the problem that you're not dealing with stress well? Is the problem the relationship? You haven't dealt with that well. You need to talk to someone. You need to journal. You need to find a way to regulate your nervous system through some breath work, yoga, things of that nature. And finally, one last thing that I'm going to throw in the mix and sprinkle on top here is that you need accountability. If you don't set your own accountability, if you don't tell a mate that you're going to do the thing and you know that's a mate that is going to hold you accountable to it and not just sugarcoat everything for you and tell you that you're doing all right, bro, even though you're fucking miserable, find someone who is, and that can be a coach, someone who also wants to work on their life, but also wants to hold you accountable because they support you at the same time. The main theme of the video today is don't just trust the training or nutrition plan that AI produces or that you've found on the internet, or the way that Chris Bumstead's training or the way he's eating, whatever it may be. You've got to make sure it's individualized to you and it meets all your individual needs. And then at the same time, you need to understand why you're not sticking to it or why it has failed in the past and what you need to change to allow yourself to be more successful in future. Now, if you are lacking that accountability and you want a mentor or a coach who can actually educate you and point you in the right direction, give you the structure and accountability that you need when it comes to your training, nutrition, recovery, and just even helping you create a bit more of that self-awareness and asking the right questions at times, I've got the Forge program, which is an online coaching program for men who want to build a leaner, stronger, and more endurable body. So you can jump into the link in my bio to apply for the waiting list for that. Otherwise, DM me on Instagram at Coach Michael Stone. DM me the word Forge and I'll discuss to you how we can upgrade your training and your nutrition, and I'll be happy to book in a call with you just to start to go through and probe a few questions out of what may be some of the things that are actually holding you back. Until next time, guys. See ya.